When I was a little girl, I'd go outside until it's time to come back home.
So this album is so important to me. 3 years ago, I found out I had a tumor, and the reality of life and the specialness of preserving what has been a lineage of my family. My family has passed everything down through oral tradition from eldest daughter to eldest daughter. And I just thought I had time to tell my daughter about her family history. And when the reality came, how am I going to explain 9+ generations of storytelling to a 3-year-old? And that's when I decided, no, you know what? If God allows me to live, I am going to do my due diligence and completely throw out my last actual full album that I was ready to press to go. And I'm going to do the research. I'm going to do the genealogy. I'm going to figure out the ancestry. Because remember, my entire family had this oral tradition, but I needed to make sure through documentation that it was all correct. And I dived in and I wanted to create this beautiful tapestry of my family lineage throughout Louisiana. So with the album, I did the intentional thing. I made sure I had the correct artist that would be helping me guide people through this journey. So right off the bat, we have Skull and Bones. We have this beautiful segue that allows me to have this moment in the album with my daughters. It's called the Creole Lullaby that I wrote for them. And I'm singing in Creole French. And I've done all the research. I wanted to make sure everything about this album was authentic and telling a story that whether it's a bridge between Louisiana and New Orleans, I want to be a part of that generation that cares about that stewardship of preserving our culture. We go from Cajun, Creole, Zydeco, and we got to get to New Orleans. And who better to transition us from that world of Acadiana to New Orleans than Sonny Patterson? She writes this most powerful poem about a mother's love, which reiterates what I'm doing with this album for my daughters, but for all of us as children of the world of Louisiana. And then we get into Big Chief Monk Boudreaux and Chief Jawan Boudreaux. And y'all, when I tell you this is the most powerful song to me, because to have someone I adore and respect as an elder, as a culture bearer, giving me his blessing to take what I'm creating and bring it to the world is so powerful. To say, show them who you are, where you come from, and believe me, you're the one. He says that to me, a native daughter. That is so amazing. And then we get to the Ode to New Orleans brass music with the Soul Rebels. And that one reminds me of here, the Lower Ninth Ward, where I grew up. Because my biggest stress in this house was wondering if my cousins were gonna let me walk with them to the Piggly Wiggly, get a hot sausage sandwich. And that's what I want with that song, that easy New Orleans life where the drama was just honestly, what are we gonna eat today? And that's what Song My Baby is about. It's that love, that joy. And then we're ending with the current of New Orleans, the bounce music. I am not saying I'm an expert on any of this. I'm saying I am a native daughter who just wants to create something that is preserving what we have as our culture. When anyone listens to this album, I know someone's gonna have at least 1 or 2 favorites. But that doesn't matter to me. I didn't do this for the music. I did this because this album, this project is bigger than myself. Yes, this is my inheritance to my daughters. But the more I did this album, the more I interacted with all these amazing artists who blessed this album. We're so connected in our culture through that love, through that music, but through that sense of home. And it is so powerful that growing up, to say my lineage is 9+ generations of Louisiana, I only know New Orleans. And I see this break between New Orleans and Louisiana. But the more that I ventured into learning more about the Louisiana side, and the more I'm seeing that we're so similar, we just have honestly a little different accents, but there's that love there. People want to feed me. That's how I am here. I want to feed you. That's how I show my love. And we're going to have some great music, and we're going to be together, and we're going to celebrate because it's home. There's this sense of home that regardless of where you are in Louisiana or in New Orleans, it's so much different than anywhere in the world. I've toured the world, and there's something so special here, and that's what I want to preserve and continue to pass on to the next generation. And I want when people hear this album, I just want them to feel joy. I want them to take away whatever stress they have that day and feel like they're at home and they feel that warmth and that love that they would feel with their family with this album.
Tell her to come back home.